Hello everyone. I was running late again. Yeah, the missus cooked me a lovely lunch, Jordan. So I was finishing that up and making myself a cup of coffee, ready for qualifying. How are you, mate? How is everyone? Ready for today? Stuffy, more like sleepy. Nah, I was up at 8 o'clock this morning. I'll let you know. I've already been to IKEA and Dunelm. Got a new TV cabinet, a new chest of drawers that I've got to put up later after this. A new bin. So excited to have a bin as well in my new place. Trust me, it's when you know you're getting old, when you're getting excited over having a bin rather than just a black bin bag hanging off of your kitchen cabinet or something. But looking forward to qualifying though. So I've missed practice this morning, but I have heard about Carlos Sainz. Seems to be doing quite well. So hopefully Ferrari are able to create a bit of an upset here and get on pole. At least that'll make the start interesting tomorrow. It does still look like Ferrari are slow on the race pace, but if they're at least got a at least if they're an obstacle in the way of the Red Bulls, or Max, shall we say, at least that means we should be in for an interesting start. Right, so I'm just waiting for the live timings to be updated, guys, so that I can change my scene and show you guys exactly what we're looking at. Right, what's that?
Can you send me the photo frame pictures?
Oh, what, the reference thing? Yeah. There we go. Weather risk, it's 0%. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Right, let's have a look here. So that's not really showing anything. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait. Well, let's see what is being said on Twitter. Was it 2-2 in the end? Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys are fans of iRacing, but iRacing has... where are we going? Let's go... Lots of new cars coming to iRacing, by the way, guys. Why? Wrong scene. There's a new GT3 coming to iRacing, the Ferrari 296. So I believe that's the one that won the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. I haven't seen... Hang on, let me have a look at your comment, Arta. Hang on. Do you want more third person? Hey, how's it going, buddy? Oh my god. Alright, does anyone... You do get some real comments on... Weird comments on YouTube. Just... Internet's a funny place. That's not your comment, Arta. This is someone else's commented on another video of mine. It's just like, what? Yes, I do know that. Yes, I do. in regards to the camera, I know that you can do it. I actually made mention of it in the race, but I'm not doing that. I'm true. I'm a purist. I like to be in the seating position that the car actually is in. So yeah, do you know what, the 296? Let me just have a quick look at the 296, because I'm pretty sure I first made a mistake that it was a full GT from behind. It looked like it was a full GT, like esque from behind. Like that's not a typical Ferrari rear end, is it? Like, do you get what I mean? Do you kind of see the similarities there from the rear end? Pure. Thoughts on the Monza curse? I hope it's a true thing this weekend, guys. I do hope it's a true thing. Just saying, because it means we'll have a different winner. Let's have a look at the race car, GT car. Sorry, I'm going a bit off track here, not related to F1, but... See how it's like a very flat rear end? It's not very normally Ferrari-esque, that. It's more Ford. But we'll see. So what's my predictions for today? I mean, my predictions, I haven't really got so many predictions. It's more about hope than anything. I'm hoping Ferrari can actually have a good qualifying session. They look very strong. Okay, this is very kind of essential for today, guys. So we have the alternative tyre allocation for the qualifying this weekend. So as it was Spa, was it Spa? I can't remember if it was Spa. What other race was it? I can't remember. Or Hungary. I think it was Hungary. So we've got the 3 sets of hards in Q1, then we have 4 sets of mediums in Q2, and then we have 4 sets of softs in Q3. Italian is spelt wrong in the title, was it? Oh, yeah. As long as it's not spelt wrong in the thumbnail. It's the Corvette C8 Stingray. Oh, okay. Sam, you're getting a race up at Xmas as far as I know. So a lot of ACC after that point in was. Oh, nice one, man. I was looking super slow for this weekend. Yeah, I don't think the temps are high enough. I mean, the thing is at Monza, because it's so many, there's not many corners. It's just very long straights. They struggle to warm them up. So the hards, I don't know what type of compound they've brought this weekend. Actually, let's have a look at. Let's have a look at what they've brought this weekend. Here we go. So they have brought the softest that they can. So understandable. I thought they could go softer than that. Didn't they go all the way up to C7? But that's understandable because there's not a lot of corners here, so not a lot of opportunity for tyre warm-up. So the teams that have struggled for tyre warm-up this year are going to have to do a couple of warm-up laps before they go for a full lap. So I expect probably Mercedes to struggle again in Q1, but they might have the outright pace to get through. Traffic is obviously going to be a big issue in all fun and games in the first qualifying. But yeah, it's tough. I don't think the hard tyre really comes into play during the race. The tyre allocations, not too much. No, not too much. The teams will pretty much know what their strategy they're running beforehand. Monza's not. Monza's normally a one-stop unless it's a safety car. So yeah. What time does it start? We've got 15 minutes until it starts. I'm waiting for my live timing to update itself so that I can transfer over to that scene. Hey, Jam, I'm good, man. I'm good. Am I doing any more mini IMSA tonight? What, the LMP3? Maybe. I'm gonna. My plan is to do the what's it called? The F1 Tour race tonight. I'm planning on doing the 100% Monza race because I haven't done. I was watching West Ham last night. Come on, you Irons, top of the league. So watched West Ham last night with a few pints, and then Thursday I was just too tired. So yeah, I don't think my thing's working yet. Oh, it is. Right, let me just change scene, guys. I'm going to set up the... No, wrong one. Hang on. So I'm just setting up the live timing, and we'll be good to transfer over. So we got the live track map. Right, I think that should be alright. Let's transfer. Yeah, I know I missed it last night. I haven't been too keen on the 3.5 if I'm being honest with you. But I feel like I'm West Ham's lucky charm at the moment. I've watched every game of theirs and we've won every game, so... Alright, let's make that a bit larger. Bosh. There we go. We are ready, guys. We are ready. Risk of rain, 0%. What are you doing, Luna? What's up? So this weekend, obviously, we still have Liam Lawson playing. But as if I'm talking about football. We still have Liam Lawson in the car. Looks like they announced, I think it was Helmut Marko announced that probably not going to be ready for Singapore even. But we'll see. Hey, Hamo, good to see you, buddy. But I'm assuming, is this order the list of the order of P3, of practice 3? Is that what that was? Is that what this is? Oh, hang on. Oh, it looks like Sergio Perez has had a whole engine change just before qualifying. And no penalty because it is one of the allocations that they've got, so... I'm assuming that's because of his crash. Let's have a look. It is indeed, yeah. So Carlos Sainz was fastest last time around by like a couple of hundredths of a second. Then Lewis Hamilton was third, a couple of tenths behind. Half a second nearly behind, actually. Then Charles Leclerc in fourth. Alonso fifth. George was sixth in the 21s. Quite tight, you know, between the top 10. Half a second separating the top 10 apart from Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. Sainz really seems to be on it. Lando was down there in a P17. I don't know if they did any long runs, though. Probably doing some long runs. Same as Gasly. I assume Gasly, we know Gasly can be quick, or the Alpines in general could be quick around here. Interested to see the improvement of Williams, guys. I'm intrigued to see if Williams, especially Alex Albon, is going to be back up there this weekend. It's really, really strong performance at Zandvoort. We know they always do well at Monza. So let's see. Albon's running on the hards as well, was he? Good. Well, we all know that Max's time was helped with a toe from from Perez as well. So Max only set his time because he got a tilt of a toe down the main straight from Sergio. Obviously, it's a tactic in qualifying, but Q1's going to be all fun and games, guys. Watch the backup into turn 11. No penalties, your ass. Well, they've got plenty of allocation. I mean, if you think about it, unless Perez has binned it, the Red Bulls have been supreme in reliability. I mean, that's one of the reasons why no one's had an opportunity of beating them. Normally, I mean, Mercedes were very good at it in their years of domination, had very few reliability issues. Lewis went an obscene amount of races without retiring. It was only if they were caught in a crash or something, but they had to repair parts. But yeah, this is what Red Bull are doing at the moment. Eugene, I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself? Yeah, Rob never set up a quality, so even if Rob get pole, it'll be passed. Well, this is it. It seems to be that the Red Bulls still have better long pace than Ferrari, but it bodes well if Ferrari get on pole. Come on, it's the little wins, guys. We need the little wins. Plus, if there's cars in front of Max or any of the Red Bulls going into turn 1 at Monza, anything can happen. The Monza curse is real. 4 years in a row, the previous winner has then the next year not finished. Perez suffers oil leak with disturbed session. Okay, yeah, that's why they've just probably had to replace the engine. Hey Ram, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. West Ham are top of the league, so I'm absolutely marvellous. I didn't see the F2 sprint. No, I didn't. I saw there was a restart though, right at the end. I see there was like a pile-up in F3 down into T1, which looked very much reminiscent of my F3 races in iRacing. I did see that. I'm going to have a look at that actually and just have a quick look. F3 highlights. Can't show it on stream, unfortunately, but... it's unavailable. It's because I'm using a VPN. Damn it. Welcome. Good morning from the USA, California. Quite is good morning for you there, isn't it? What time is it for you there? It must be, what are you, 8 hours behind? 8 hours, what, 7 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, I know they're on YouTube. I'm using a VPN, so trying to avoid that whole issue of F1 copyright issues. So they're really hot on it, being based in the UK. 640. You are committed, Jay. You are committed to F1. Or you've got kids who have jumped on you at 6:30 in the morning and you've gone, sod it, I'm awake now, I might as well. Might as well watch the F1 qualifier. Hey, Mark. Everyone's good. Everyone's good. Certain drivers we prefer more than others, but everyone's a good guy on the grid. Right, so we are, guys, less than just over 5 minutes now until qualifying starts. So let's get our predictions in. Who do we think are going to be our 5 to not make it through Q1? So of course, everyone is going to be on the hard tyre, and obviously the Q3 is on the hardest tyre, medium tyre in Q2, and then softest tyre in Q1. What do we think? Who's going out? Give me your 5. In the world, no doubt, Mark. In the world, no doubt. Right. Let's pick my 5. Who do I think not going to get through? So, I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for the 2 alphas. I'm going to go for the 2 alphas, the 2 Alpha Tauris. So basically the 4 Alphas and the... I'm going to say Magnussen again. I think the Williams have got a strong car, and I think Sargent, as long as he keeps it out the wall and gets a clean lap, I think they'll get through. Zhou, Magnussen, Lawson, Gasly, Bottas, Gasly. Ooh. Magnussen, Lawson, Bottas, maybe Zhou or Sargent. Yeah, that's my thinking. Everyone wants to get USA involved. I don't know if Sky Sports for us over here. People with streaming services can't get ESPN2. Oh, really? Yeah, I know it's a bit different over there. It's just a shame that obviously it's been such a dominant season this year. I think, as especially for kind of newer F1 fans who have been brought in over kind of like the COVID period, the Drive to Survive period, or even just before that. I think with Lewis winning, he always at least had a competitor. There was always other drivers winning races. This year has been utterly dominant by Red Bull. Say it every stream, tip my cap to them. But from a neutral's perspective, or just an F1, a motorsport fan's perspective, it's not that entertaining. Unfortunately, it was kind of a similar period when Schumacher was winning from wherever he started on the grid. As long as he started, you knew he was going to be winning races by 30 odd seconds. You wish Magnussen would get through to Q3. Well, they've Haas is a strange one because I don't feel like... I think Hulkenberg's deserved another contract extension, which is what he's done. Magnussen this year, they like Magnussen, I guess. They always have done, so they've kept him around for another year. Maybe they could have gone for someone else. I think the Haas team probably know they haven't got the car, so the drivers haven't been able to... They've had some streaky performances with qualifying. Hulkenberg's done pretty well. But then when it comes to the race, they drop further back down the pack. So yeah, they're in a bit of a strange situation, Haas, at the moment, aren't they? Makes me wonder how long they're actually going to stick around in F1 for. He's won 9, so he's got the joint record of wins in a row, which is with Sebastian Vettel. If he wins today, it is the new record of 10 wins in a row. And then, let's be honest, the form is in, the reliability of that car, then most likely he's going to set the new record again of most wins in a season. He did that last year with 13, I think. So he could potentially win 15 races. He could potentially win every single race between now and the end of the year, which would be obviously a ridiculous amount of races in a row. And then it will also be... How many races left have we got? 6 races? We've got 6 races, 7 races left, something like that. So, yeah, ridiculous, really. Which series have I played most in this season of night racing? I don't know. They're probably level with each other, to be honest, Etu. The officials in F1 now, unfortunately, they're not that popular anymore. Like the sprint races, it's more the tour races, the 100% length races that everyone, especially in my community, look forward to. So I've been doing more of, the LMP3. Been really enjoying that this year. Rumour has it, the Super Formula is coming to iRacing next season, or at least the season after. And rumour has it that they're going to be splitting the licenses on the roadside into 2. So you're going to have the Formula license for like open wheel cars, and then a GT or sports license. So it means that hopefully that will help with the increase in participation for the F1 series and all the open wheel series, because I think a lot of people are scared to do that because they don't want to lose their I rating for the endurance races, the GT races. Whereas if they have a separate license for it, they should be more open to play around with that. But yes, we have a green light here, guys. Qualifying is now up and underway, and no one's come out. surprisingly enough. No one has come out yet. So this is where the fun and the games begin. Because, guys, traffic is going to play a big factor here. We know that the slipstream is really, really key. I actually heard them say on Sky Sports on Friday that you can actually feel the dirty air from as far back as 6 seconds behind the car in front. That is how much of a hole these cars punch into the air at this circuit. So, of course, the closer you are to that car, the closer, obviously, the more effectiveness that slipstream is going to be. So, as you can see here, everyone, as we said at the start, is starting on the hard tyre in Q3. That's what they have to run. So, some of these guys have run laps on this already in practice. As you can see, the AlphaTauris have run 8 laps on this hard tyre already. And the ones with 0 laps are running fresh tyres. So, take that into account when you see the lap times. But the thing is here as well is that some of these guys may be using the hard tyre for their race strategy at the weekends. So they might be thinking, well, we'll see how high up we can qualify. It's not essential that we get out of Q1. We'd be much rather better holding on to the fresher tyre for the race. Maybe that's the AlphaTauris. Maybe they're already seeing that, you know what, we're not got the pace to get out of Q3. Let's hold on to that hard tyre for those fresher hard tyres for the race weekend. But here we go. Here we go, guys. Is Ricciardo out for good for 23? No. They reckon he'll be back. Well, they reckon he won't be back until after the Singapore Grand Prix. I think it's a bit more of a severe break than what Lance Stroll's was. Lance Stroll was back within 12 days, which was phenomenal. I don't think Danny is able to recover in that period of time. Plus, for him to come back for Singapore, a track which is a street circuit, which is more bumpy, one small mistake at Singapore, you're going to be punished. It's the most demanding race of the year. Is a tall order for him. So I reckon he'll be back after Singapore. That was a tough. Lando has no spot now at Merc with the 2 re-signing. That was. I don't think so. I think there'll be a bit of a merry-go-round again when it comes to the new regulations. So 2026 is when the new engine regulations come in. It's normally, if you think that's then going to be 4 years of the new regulations, or more of the ground effect regulation era. So you'd expect to see where teams should have closed the gap considerably to the Red Bulls by then. So drivers will be positioning themselves to get into a favourable team. So I don't think it's... I think Norris and Piastri are going to be at McLaren for the next couple of years. And let's be honest, the McLarens look very promising at the moment with the progression they've made this year. So why would you be looking elsewhere at this moment in time? Right, guys. So the AlphaTauris are coming across the line now. They're the first to set a time. What does Tsunoda set? Tsunoda sets a 123.2. Is Liam Lawson not able to match him there? Maybe had a little bit of a wobble. Hulkenberg, not with a good time there. Bearing in mind, he's on the fresher tyre compared to Tsunoda. Set a lap time of 23.2. Piastri goes in just behind Magnussen. Magnussen getting a very good lap time there. Benefited from the tow, most likely, as Max comes across the line and sets a 22.0. Fastest in the third sector there. Perez joins him just a 2 tenths behind. What can George Russell do? George Russell sets a 22.1. Not bad. Fastest in the middle sector. Lewis coming around the last corner now. Parabolica not getting a tow from his teammate, it seems. Maybe Mercedes. Oh, Max has his lap time deleted for track limits. Max has his lap time deleted for track limits at turn 7, which is the second Lesmo. Bitch of a corner, that is. Albon, I need to create up a chant for him. 22.1 from Albon. Go on the boy. Good to see the Williams hopping straight back up to the top of the leaderboard there. Faster on merit than the Mercedes of George Russell. Lewis did a 22.5. He had a bit of a wobble somewhere. That's a bit slow for him. But mega. What are you using to track all the stuff here? Is it the left one lifetime? It's multi-viewer. Very good job on him for the latest qualifier runs at Albon. Albon is doing brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That Williams, to make the improvements it's doing, like after the summer break. I mean, Zandvoort was really impressive. They've always been strong at the low downforce tracks, but to do what they did at Zandvoort was, yeah, pretty good to say the least. Right, so let's see how traffic's going to play here. So Max coming into the pit lane. Yeah, it looks like Max is coming into the pit lane. Norris is now going to be on a flying lap again, I think. But Hamilton definitely needs to set another lap time. 22.5 is not good. Max not even replying to the fact that he had his track limit. His lap time deleted for track limits. So, two Mercedes are in the pits. Max comes in for probably a new set of tyres, or no, sorry. Max reported he wanted a wing adjustment, so that's why he's come into the pits there and he's out again very quickly. Hamilton into the pit lane, not coming out again anytime soon. Maybe just setting a banker lap and then just seeing what everyone else does, trying to get in some clean, some traffic, some clean traffic is important for these guys. So the last couple of races, well, Spa was okay for him, but it was particularly Hungary and the last race. Mercedes have made very bad calls when it comes to qualifying and the strategy behind it in regards to when they bring their cars out, when they tell the guys to push, and they've cocked up. Russell was completely out of position in Hungary, and as Alonso has a lap time deleted as well for track limits at turn 7. And Hamilton was completely out of position in the last race because he was told to push too early. So yeah, we'll see if Mercedes are able to rectify that in today's qualifying. Track evolution here isn't too big. It's not too big because there's not many corners. There's not a lot of time to be gained in the corners. You've got a lot of straights here. It's about who can manage the temperature in those tyres and who can get them up to temperature quickest. But really, the only time to really the only place to make up time is under braking, of course, into turn 2 and turn 4, and then you've got 6 and 7 with the Lesmos. Scar is pretty straightforward, and so is turn 11, and then it's all about your straight line speed. So it is a track where your high speed performance really comes into play, and if you've got a very quick car in a straight line but not particularly through the corners, you're going to be really difficult to overtake. So Max on a flying lap now. Purple in the first sector, 27.0. Keep an eye out and see. Well, we won't be able to see here if he does get a track limit at turn 6 or turn 7. But expected to go. He's at the bottom of the timing sheets at the moment, but expecting to go to the top after this. So lots of guys in the pits at the moment, as it seems the Mercedes boys are back out, or coming back out. 21.9 for Perez there. First man into the 29s. I'm sure Max is going to beat that because he's purple in the second sector as well. Sub 28 seconds in the second sector. He was 2 tenths faster than Perez into the first sector as well. So this is going to be probably a 21.5, low 21 coming up here as he comes across the line. And it's a 21.5. So 2 Red Bulls at the top of your timing sheets. The Ferrari boys need to get their act together now. So does Lewis Hamilton as well. Alonso had a lap time deleted. How are the Aston Martins performing this week, guys? Are they performing any decent? Are they performing decently? There's my answer. Fernando Alonso up into P3. Right on cue. Thanks, Fernando. But as we say that, Yuki Tsunoda, fastest in the first sector there, at 27.0. 27.8, only 2 tenths slower than Max into sector 2. So Tsunoda really making some headway here on a fresh set of hard tyres. Liam Lawson trying to get the toe from Tsunoda as well, is slightly slower. Let's see what Tsunoda and Lawson can set here. This could be a sneaky little time and chuck them into the sub 22 seconds, I think. Ooh, 22.1 for Tsunoda. Does Lawson benefit from the toe? Yes and no. A 22.2. So this is going to be a tight qualifying, guys. I think this could be a very tight qualifying. We've still got a bit of time left here. And we've got 6.5, well, just over 6.5 minutes left of qualifying. Everyone's playing ball with the traffic at the moment. Right, so Russell clever here. Russell is going to be benefiting from the toe from Carlos Sainz in front. Hamilton maybe a touch too far back. I mean, still will be benefiting from the toe, but not as much as Russell. That's intriguing. I'm not sure Lewis and George are kind of working together here to give the toe. I'm not sure Lewis is getting that big of a toe. But let's keep an eye on George. Where is George? So he's on a brand new set of softs. 27.3 in the first sector. That's 3 tenths down on the fastest first sector of Yuki Tsunoda, believe it or not. So let's see if he can be, or Carlos Sainz. Let's see if they are around a 27.6 was the fastest middle sector. Here we go. Carlos Sainz going through Ascari chicane as we speak. 27.6. So, yep, not too far off. George Russell was a 27.8, so 2 tenths slower. Lewis is a 27.7 and a 27.3 in the first sector. So Lewis is improving. He is faster than George at the moment, and George is tucked up a bit closer to Carlos Sainz. So maybe he's too close, so that he's receiving a bit of dirty air. But Sainz, a 21.9, sub 21s for the, or sub 22s for the Ferraris. George Russell across the line and doesn't improve on his lap time, and Lewis does, but he's only a 22.2. That is not a safe time for the Mercedes boys, in my opinion. They are danger zone. Danger zone. Guys, if you get the like button, it'd be much appreciated. And also, if you can subscribe as well, if you haven't already. We'll be back tomorrow for the race, of course. But let's have a look at the moment. So we have at the moment Verstappen and Perez, 2 Red Bulls leading first and second. The 2 Ferraris following up close-ish behind, 4 tenths behind the Red Bull of Verstappen. Of course, this is the hard compound tyre. So next time around in Q2, it'll be the medium and then it'll be the soft at the end. Alonso in P5, Albon, go on Albon in P6, Tsunoda and Lawson sandwiching the Mercedes of George Russell there in 7th and 9th. Really surprised that actually by the AlphaTauris. Hamilton in P10, Sargent 11th, Zhou 12th. Norris needs to set a much better lap time. He is in the danger zone, as well as Piastri down in 17th. 14th for Bottas, 15th for Magnussen, Gasly 16th. Both of the Alpines there in the drop zone. Interesting. And then Ocon, Stroll, then Stroll at the bottom. But Stroll is now on a flying lap. He's done a 27.2, which is much better from him. Only 2 tenths slower than the fastest lap thus far by Max. Hulkenberg giving a big toe to Magnussen, it seems, which seems a bit odd. I thought it'd be the other way around, personally, to be honest. How dangerous would it be if they brought the bank in at Monza back? Very dangerous. Because this is a very high-speed circuit compared to Zandvoort. The banking at Zandvoort works because they're much slower corners. Monza is just, crazy. So let's see what Hulkenberg can set here. And he goes out of the danger zone at 22.3. And Magnussen with the toe does a 22.5. So the toe not working for Magnussen there. Lance Stroll had a very, very bad middle sector, 28.0, almost half a second slower than that of Max Verstappen. So Max on another flying lap here. Not sure why he's doing another flying lap, but yeah, 27.1. It's going to be a fastest lap again. Oh no, slightly slower out of the last corner. So a 26.9 out of the last sector there. Very fast middle sector. But 21.7 set by Max. So this is where the fun and the games begin, guys. This is where things get silly. Look at where everyone is. They're all coming out now for their last lap. And this is where there's going to be a massive backup down into turn 11, the last corner. Watch this, guys. Watch this. I haven't watched Gran Turismo yet. No, I'm waiting for it to come out on a streaming service or something. But I'm not really too interested in going watching it in cinema. Whew. Right, here we go, guys. So at the moment, really, I think most people are gonna. So if we look here, Russell's out on a set of 3 lap hards. So is Hamilton. Sargent's on a new set. Gasly's on a new set. Bottas, Ocon, Albon, Tsunoda, Lawson, all on a brand new set of hard tyres. Let's see what they can do. So I think the likes of Hamilton are at risk here. Obviously, those in the drop zone definitely are. Piastri, Ocon, Stroll. Magnussen is tucked up massively behind Stroll here. Is Magnussen going to cause himself issues being that close to Lance Stroll? I think he's too close there. Too close. Piastri had a lap time deleted of a 22.2 last time around, which is, why he is down in 19th position. So he does have the pace as Leclerc gets his lap time in and gets a 21.7. That's his banker. Lewis Hamilton breezing past him there, so obviously he pulls over to the side. But let's keep an eye out here. Albon sets the fastest first sector of anyone in this qualifying session, faster than that of Max Verstappen. Those Williams are definitely on pace here this weekend. Love to see it. And Sargent actually beats him in the first sector there, a 26.9. Only like a thousandth in it there. But the Williams, really on it. So the Red Bulls are in. They're done. Leclerc is done. He's through. Albon, another purple sector in the middle sector there. Absolutely flying. Let's keep an eye on Sargent. Not able to set it there, but Albon really benefiting from the tow here from Zhou. So George Russell doesn't improve, a 22.3. Lance Stroll doesn't improve, he's out. Bottas does, just behind Lewis Hamilton. Carlos Sainz doesn't improve as and where he is. Zhou, Albon goes into second. Wow. Piastri up into P8, pushes those down below him. And Sargent jumps up to 5th. Go on, the Williams. Lawson, can he get a banker here? Yes, he does. Lawson is through to Q2. Lewis Hamilton up into the sub 22 seconds. And Yuki Tsunoda, is he able to get this banker and push himself further up the grid? He does. Tsunoda into 4th place. My predictions were absolutely shocking. The 2 Alpines are out. And wow, there we go. Woo! So, let's have a look there. So Zhou actually set a 22.429 that got deleted. But let's have a rundown there, guys. So Verstappen in first place. Albon is through. Leclerc third. Tsunoda 4th. Perez 5th. Sargent 6th. Those Williams flying there. Sainz in 7th. Hamilton 8th. Norris 9th. Alonso 10th. Piastri 11th. Lawson getting out of Q1 for his second F1 race. Brilliant by him in 12th. Russell sneaking through in 13th there. Bottas 14th. Hulkenberg 15th. And then those out at Monza in Q1 is Zhou, Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen and Stroll. Well, I was completely wrong there, guys. Completely wrong. Because only one of the Alphas got knocked out. And I said all 4 would get knocked out. And then we've lost Stroll. We've lost Magnussen. We guessed Magnussen. And we did guess Zhou. But the Alpines really struggling there. Really struggling there. But the AlphaTauri is doing a great job. Yeah, great job. You're surprised that Sargent is doing so well recently. Well, do you know what, Artemis? It's amazing in this sport, or sport in general. It's amazing what a bit of confidence can do for you. And especially in this sport, if all of a sudden you feel like you've got a car underneath you that it does what you want it to do, you can feel confident. You can feel confident and just breeze, just drive the car, and the lap times come to you. He just needs to keep it out of the wall, because Zandvoort, he had a good opportunity there, binned it, and then, I mean, the incident with him at Zandvoort in the race was and wasn't his fault. Yes, the hydraulic pressure gave way as he went over the curb, but apparently he'd been attacking the curb about 5 or 6 laps previous to that, and that's what originally wore that down. So yeah, kind of because of the way he was driving, it was his own fault that happened. But at Monza, yeah, hopefully we'll have a better performance. Currently in the airport, leaving Orlando, so can't watch the qualifying, unfortunately. I am your hope. That's what we're here for. That is what we're here for, to provide you guys a service for those who cannot tune into the live TV coverage, because we know that it's expensive across the world, and I love interacting with you guys as well. What broke in the Alpines? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, to be fair. It seems like incident involving Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc will be investigated after the session. Failing to follow race director's instructions. Maximum lap time. Maximum lap time, what does that mean? $22K tyre blankets cost. Probably. Everything in F1 is so costly. It's so like overinflated. Like the steering wheels cost like 60-70 grand. Ridiculous. The out lap time is limited. Is that what it means, Tobias? Okay. Okay. So we're too slow. Oh, imagine that. Imagine they now get pole. Imagine the Ferraris get pole, or they get the front row, and then they get a penalty for that. Oh, imagine. So yeah, this is part of their new initiative to reduce kind of the amount of tyres they bring over a race weekend too. So they're in Q1, sorry, I'm getting mixed around. In Q1, everyone runs on the hard tyre. In Q2, everyone runs on the mediums. And in Q3, everyone runs on the softs. It's to reduce the amount of tyres and wastage of F1 over a race weekend. That's their reasons behind it. So, speaking of cost, if the cost cap didn't exist, would Ferrari still be competitive? I mean, you can say yes, because they'd be allowed to spend millions of pounds more than everyone else, but they weren't necessarily competitive. They had, before the cost cap era, they weren't competitive, and they were one of the top spenders in F1. So I don't know is your answer. Not sure. A lot of the time, it doesn't matter how much money you've got. If you've got poor management, if you spend that money in the wrong areas, you don't hire the right personnel, you can throw money at, what do they say? You can throw, what's the right word? You can throw money at shit, but it doesn't always stick. Is that the right word? Is that the right saying? Or you can throw, yeah, something like that. Or something doesn't, you can throw as much money as you want, but it doesn't always stick. Something along those lines, or whatever, I don't know. Stroll needs to retire. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Stroll. Trying to see what what did he say? Yeah, Zhou overtook Sainz down into Parabolica, or just before Parabolica, and then Sainz overtook him again. He wants to pursue something else, but Daddy won't let him. Oh, you can throw money at shit, doesn't turn it into gold. Yeah, something along those lines. I've heard something of like it doesn't stick or something, but that's basically the same principle. It's a bit like that. You can throw as much money as a problem as you want. If you haven't got the right minds and the right people behind it, then it's never gonna sort itself out. Money doesn't solve everything. As helps, massively helps, but it doesn't solve everything. In my opinion, I feel like the talent at the start of the cost cap era went to 2023 and onwards to just being added to iRacing and onwards to the World Endurance Championship. I think that's different. I think they're separate entities. The problem Ferrari have had, quite evidently, is that they've had too much. They've had the wrong management. Bonotto was not a very good team principal, and they had too much. What's the right word? It seems like they've had too much influence from the higher ups at Ferrari, like telling them which direction they should go in, what way, rather than just letting them get on with it. It's the same with Aston Martin. Lawrence Stroll came in. If you watch Drive to Survive, he came into F1, and a lot of the people in the know said that he was trying to run Aston Martin originally when he first took it over, or Racing Point, like any other business. But F1 is completely different. You have to hire the right personnel to run that team for you, who have got the history, have got the knowledge, and know how to run an F1 team. And it was only the last year or so, or couple of years, that he actually took that advice, stepped back, and then that's why Aston Martin have had a very strong start to the season. They've fallen back, but that's why they've got a much better race car now than they've had done in the previous years. Typical NBA management types, yeah. Well, it's like football as well. Like football owners, they come in, they buy a football team, they get involved with buying the players, and it's like, look, to an extent, yes, but you have to hire the right personnel who know how the industry works and how and are able to identify talent and the right players to bring in with the manager and the managers as well. So thanks for the sub, Wes, and for anyone else who has subbed in the meantime as well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, like as well if you can, because we'll be back tomorrow for the race watch along. But we've still got 2 more qualifying sessions here. So everyone now onto the medium tyre. The Mercedes yet to come out. So maybe waiting for everyone to go round and set their lap times first so that they get some clean air. Think Vesty will join Williams and Sargent will go to IndyCar. You think? I think they've invested quite a bit in Logan Sargent. And by the sounds of it, they're very much treating this year as a development year for Sargent. They know the car is... Well, they had expectations at the start of this season that the car wasn't going to be fighting for points on the regular. Second half of the season, that's changed. But I think they've openly said that they've been treating this season as a learning curve for him, like they were coaching him at Monaco, how to drive in the rain, and because I don't think he'd ever raced at Monaco before or something along those lines. Which rookies don't normally get the benefit of. So next year is more of the year where Sargent will be truly judged. But yeah, I think after next year is when they may look at either replacing him if he doesn't step up to the mark, or Albon may leave, because Albon's doing a great job at the moment. He'll get poached by another team if Williams aren't a top team. But I do think Ferrari will come back next year or latter half of the decade. Right, here we go. So Max about to come round on the medium tyre, and of course we'll set the fastest lap because he's the first to set the lap. Norris has been tucked up behind Perez though, getting the benefit of the tow. 21.0 for Max Verstappen, a 21.4 for Perez, 21.5 for Norris. What can Tsunoda do? Tsunoda does a 21.7. Albon doing a 21.2. Go on, Albon. Alonso up there with a 21.5. Lawson a sub 22. That's good for Lawson. Sargent a sub 22 as well. What about Hulk? 21.7. Leclerc up into P2 with a 21.1. And Carlos Sainz been very strong this weekend. Goes into the sub 21 seconds. Woo! Look at that. Not a lot of time separated. There's 1 second, under 1 second separating the top 13. The only two cars not to set a time yet is the Mercedes, who have obviously planned to have come out just ahead of everyone who has set a time already to get some clean air. Wow. But those the Williams of Albon, man. 2 tenths faster than Perez, who had a tow from Max. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so here we go. Hamilton and George getting ready to do their lap. Verstappen, Perez and that will be coming in to pits, I assume. Here we go. Gotta admit, the livery and the helmet of Carlos Sainz this weekend looks gorgeous. Does look lovely. With the yellow on it. Do like that. Bit of retro look. So Lando's going for a second. Oh, okay. So Lando did a 1:46 last time around. So they're doing two warm-up laps compared to everyone else, the McLarens. So this is now their actual lap. But really good from the Ferraris there. So let's see what Russell and Hamilton are able to set any purple sectors. Hamilton 27.2 compared to George Russell's 27.1. No purple sectors there. Obviously, it's very tight at the top. They really need to be kind of sub. You think Albon did a 21.2. So are they able to beat the Williams and go kind of best of the rest compared to Ferrari and Red Bull? 6 Le Mans this year. Hope they continue with it. Actually, I really like that livery. I really do like it. Here we go. Let's see what George Russell can do. Can he get sub 21.5? And he does. 21.4. What about Lewis? 21.8. He's had a wobble somewhere. Where is he? Lost time there. Oh, that's terrible from Lewis. Terrible. He's down in 21.8. Oof. That is not good. And on a new set of medium tyres. He's had a wobble somewhere. It looks like, I'm trying to look at his lap time. So he's lost 2 tenths in the last sector. He lost about 2 tenths in the first sector. Norris did a 21.9. Piastri did a 21.8. So they didn't improve. Oh, sorry. They did a slowdown lap and then did another lap on the same set of tyres. So clearly hasn't worked from there to improve. But yeah, not great from the McLarens, and especially from Lewis Hamilton there. Very much under threat. Of course, this is what happened last time around as well. In the last time they did this, is that the Mercedes were not able to really extract the pace out of the hard compound tyre and the medium compound tyre. I think it was Hungaroring when they did this last. So their aim is to just get through to Q3, where they're able to extract kind of a bit more peak performance out of the soft tyre. But yeah, that's way off the mark there. No, it didn't. No, 21.8. I don't really know what Tsunoda set there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they switch it around and if they give Lewis the free air compared to Russell. Maybe the toe isn't working and it's just being of detriment here. So just watching Lewis's time now. So Lewis said he got... how much it affected him, I don't know. But Perez overtook Lewis just before he was prepping for his lap into turn 11. Not sure if that would have... Well, it might have affected his exit out of Parabolica. Which is why he lost a little bit of time down into T1 and why the slipstream wasn't so effective. But... Definitely in the danger zone, guys. Definitely in the danger zone. Right, so let's... Before they come out again for one last run, give me your predictions as of where everyone is in the laps on here at the moment. Who do you think is going to go out? I still think there's a lot of chopping and changing going on here. I think we're going to lose one of the McLarens. Just got a feeling we're going to lose one of the McLarens. I think Tsunoda's going to get through. I think Tsunoda's been quite strong. I think we're going to lose Lawson, Hulk. I think there's going to be a real shocker here. Whether it's Hamilton or whether it's one of the McLarens or Alonso. It's very tight. It is very tight. Like less than a second separating kind of a top 12, top 13. It's very tight up there. Hamilton saying he's got no grip. As it stands now, is the people who are going... Oh, Jordan going bold. Jordan thinking we're losing Lewis Hamilton for 2 weeks in a row out of Q2. Yeah, I think Lewis is in trouble. I think they need to... give him clean air. I don't think the toe from Russell is going to work. Because the thing is as well is that he's just going to be getting dirty air for the corners. Is that straight line speed, is that slipstream that he'll be getting from George going to offset? Or is it going to be enough to gain the offset that he's losing in the dirty air for the corners? I think that's what they're struggling with. So they've sent Russell out ahead of Hamilton again. We'll see. Piastri, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Bottas, Tsunoda. Just got a funny feeling one of the Maccas is going out, you know. Fucking Alex Albon, top 5 again though, guys. This is getting replaced with an Albono one in the Williams. I'll have to have one of these for every driver on here who's my favourite of the week. Go on, Hamilton, please don't get out of Q2. Ooh. Someone wants Hamilton to start in P12. Needs a better seat at a bigger team. Yes and no. Yes and no. I think I've always rated Albon. I think he got chucked into that Red Bull very quickly. He had a good end to the season of that first year in his F1. And then the second year, obviously, he struggled a lot. Didn't get the support. He was obviously massively under pressure, hence like some of his comments in the car and stuff. I think he's relishing being the main man at Williams, and he's got that confidence of being the main man at Williams. It's amazing what, as we said at the start of the stream, what confidence can do for you in any sport, especially if you're like the main driver. And having that support network around you at Red Bull, quite evidently, the second driver always struggles, because it is Max's team. So yeah. Right, so here we go, guys. Here we go. This is it, the last shootout of Q2. Can Hamilton get out of Q2? He is currently in the drop zone, getting a slipstream from his teammate George Russell, who also isn't safe there up in P6. It is a very tight qualifying session here. Under 1 second separates the top 13 cars in this session. So let's see if Hamilton, if he's in the green, he's improving. So 27.0 for Hamilton is quicker than his own teammate, who did a 27.1. So Lewis needs greens, if not purple here, to be able to get out of this session. I don't think he's going to set purple. The Ferrari and the Red Bull are too quick at this moment in time. Bit of a backup there for Norris. How much is he being held up by Bottas there? You want to slipstream, but you don't want to be that close. I reckon he's definitely being held up there. Could Norris be affected by this slipstream or of this dirty air by Bottas? Sonoda does a 21.5. He is at risk of the drop zone. Only needs a couple of cars to beat him, and he will be down and out of Q2. Here comes George Russell round the final corner. Lewis is green in every sector thus far, so he is improving, but by how much? 21.3 by George Russell. Fastest purple sector in Sector 3. Lewis out-qualifies his teammate and goes into P5. That is the Mercedes boys safe. Leclerc goes fastest of this session, a 20.9, out-qualifying his teammate thus far. Lawson does improve, but only by one position. P12, nothing to slouch at in his second race. Piastri, safe in P8. But what about Lando? Stuck behind Bottas this whole session as Max goes fastest. And Lando doesn't improve. Lando is at risk here. No, Lando is safe. Lando is safe. Lando is safe. By the skin of his teeth, Lando is safe. He got stuck behind Bottas, who only did a 21.9, and Lando was only able to do a 21.7. Oh, the Maccas are a lucky set of boys. Alonso pulled into the pits because he knew he had qualified, but whew, very, very lucky boy there by Lando. But good lap times there from the Mercedes boys on the medium tyres. In the grand scheme of things, you look at it, they're 6th and 7th, pardon me, but they're only 4 tenths off of Max and the Ferraris there on the medium compound tyre. So we'll see obviously what their true pace is on the softs compared to the top 4 there, or top 3. But that was Sainz in a 20.9. That was Leclerc with a 20.9, and it's Verstappen with a 20.9. Only a couple of hundredths separating those three. It is on in Q3, guys, for a shootout between the two Ferrari boys at their home Grand Prix at Monza against Max Verstappen, going for, obviously, the record 10 races in a row. But let's have a rundown of Q2. So Max is your fastest in Q2 with a 20.9. And then the two Ferrari boys, Leclerc and Sainz. In 4th position is Perez. Albon in 5th place, ahead of the two Mercedes, ahead of the two McLarens, and of Fernando Alonso. Norris getting through there with the skin of his teeth in P10. We've lost both AlphaTauris, Tsunoda and Lawson. A good performance from them two, to be honest. I thought they'd be out in Q1. Lawson doing a great job. Obviously, second race in F1. Hulkenberg 13th, Bottas 14th, and we lost Logan Sargent. So there we go, guys. There we go. Afternoon, Connor. How are you doing, sir? Sargent was slow. Yeah, what happened to Sargent? I didn't see what happened to him. Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there. I think he could have got a few to Q3. I think, especially with Albon, they've got the car. Quite evidently, they've got the car, but he's obviously made some issues. Hey, DK, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, mate. Sometimes perform really good at midfield teams, but can't perform in top teams. Yes, yeah. Well, it's the pressure. I think you have to look. They're not moving into a team like Mercedes or even Ferrari, where they're given, say, equal footing. Ferrari have always preferred a number one driver, but if you look at Leclerc and Sainz, they're quite evidently treated as equal drivers. Sometimes Leclerc has been preferred, but then other times you could say, well, Sainz has been the preferred driver. They're definitely a bit more on equal footing than they have done in previous years. Red Bull, this year is the first year they've truly seen both of their drivers as having an equal opportunity. Perez obviously did have an equal opportunity up until Monaco, and where obviously things just flipped completely for him, and then they've preferred Max. That team is geared around Max, whereas the other top teams, they're a bit more like, well, we have two number one drivers. So Albon, Perez, they've gone into the wrong team. But can you turn down an opportunity to race for a top team? End of the day, you're lucky enough to be on the grid in the first place. If an opportunity like that gets presented to you, where you can be put into a race-winning car, a championship-winning car, you have to take it. If Max wins Monza, it's over, right? I mean, let's be honest, it's over already. Mathematically, it's not over, I don't think, but let's be honest, it's over. Max could go put his feet up, have some cocktails on a beach for the next 4 months, and then come back and still win it. Yeah, I think that's what he'll do, Connor. I think, like, you look at Norris, someone mentioned Norris earlier on as well, like a missed opportunity with Mercedes signing Hamilton and Russell for another 2 years. But I think like both teams are heading in the right direction. And the fact that Albon's, if you think about it, Williams are by no means at peak performance in regards to like their potential of that car. At the start of the season, everyone was saying Williams was going to be the worst car after testing. Now look where Albon's taking it. So yeah, I mean, over the next couple of years, you could quite evidently see them, both teams, massively improving to those around them. Sargent has been amazing though. He's always close to Albon. Today has been, but bad luck. Yeah, I mean, he's still learning, Katerina. They said that. They said this is the development year for him. They're treating it as such. Next year is really the true year where he'll be judged more on his performances. So, come on, Lewis and Russell. Yeah, don't expect them to. I think realistically, Mercedes are looking to tie up those 2 positions behind Ferrari and Red Bull. Ferrari are definitely on pace here. Single lap pace anyway to beat the Red Bulls to pole position. The race may be different entirely, but the 2 Mercedes I think are looking to finish ahead of the McLarens. It would be the best of the rest pretty much. Albon for P1, imagine. Oscar's been outstanding as rookie, in my opinion. Sargent's been very good and outstanding. No. I've always rated Piastri. Always rated him. Ever since I crashed into him in iRacing on F3, I was like, yeah, he's good. Why are Ferrari so bad on tyres? Not entirely sure. It's obviously to do with, I assume, the aero. That the actual development of their car has just gone in the wrong direction, where they're very good at switching them on. But that's why their single lap pace is very good. But yeah, they kill him too quickly. He's still doing well his first year, in my opinion, but also surprising. I think the reason people put him down, Katerina, is not because of his nationality. I think it's because, unfortunately, he has put it in the wall a couple of times this year. And those do grab the headlines. Those are the ones that people just look at and go, oh, he's in the wall. But they completely ignore the data completely ignore the data that leads up to that. They completely ignore what the results up until that point, and what car he's driving. So there's so many more elements to take into it, and so many more reasons for why a crash can happen the way he's done it. Like last week at Zandvoort, people instantly went, oh, well, it's Logan's fault, he's made a driver error, because he has, unfortunately, binned it a couple of times before. I mean, he binned it the day previously in qualifying. So people's first assumption is, well, he's binned it. But it was only afterwards that they said, no, as soon as he hit the curb, which he should be allowed to do, but then also, I don't know, maybe it's on the team as well. Team should have told him, look, you're hitting the curb too hard, back off a little bit. We can see some sensors popping off there. But yeah, it's reasonable for people's first thoughts to think that he's made a driver error, but actually it was a mechanical issue. But headlines make opinions, not a text. Yeah. Very good is not a discredit. No. Lawson has really impressed me. Yeah, Lawson jumping in. So Lawson's a bit like Piastri. He's done it in multi-disciplines. He's been doing it over in Super Formula. He won in the... what was the series that Albon and Lawson went and drove in for a year? Oh, What was it? They both drove the Ferrari GT3. Was it a DTM series, stuff like that? DTM, that's the one, yeah. Like, he won in that. He won in... so, did you know every single series he's competed in professionally, he's won the first race? F1's the only series he hasn't won the first race. Like, that's just crazy. So, there's a reason, like, drivers who have done it in multi-disciplines, there's a reason why there's a hype around them. Like there was around Piastri. Because they're just able to develop. And it also means that they're able to adapt. It means they're able to adapt to different cars as well. And different driving styles or setups and stuff. So it's why kind of they're highly sought after drivers. Well, I loved if he won the first. It would have taken a serious shitstorm for him to have won that race. Who do I think will be in the AlphaTauri seats next year? I think Liam Lawson, Yuki, and then I think Red Bull will be Verstappen and Ricciardo. I think Yuki has done enough this year to warrant another season in the Alpha, or at least in F1. I don't think he'll get that step up to Red Bull because Danny Rick's still about. And they love him. They just love him. It's not a hot take, Connor. It's not a hot take. I think it's a logical one. You look at all the signs. I think Tsunoda's more likely to leave AlphaTauri than he is to get that Red Bull seat. Over Danny Rick especially. I just think Danny Rick, he's quite evidently gained his confidence back in the AlphaTauri. He's done, in a couple of races and sessions he's been in, he's done very well. Especially to jump straight back in after a year out and adapt to it. And then also, they love him. They absolutely love him at Red Bull. So, right, here we go, guys. First run of Q3. Let's get back to it. Albon, quickest in the first sector. Love to see it. Go on, Albono. Stick it on pole. Max with a 20.6. Cam Perez out qualify him? No, a 20.9. Lando goes into a 20.9. Only 3 tenths between the leader there. 21.4 for Alonso. Slow for him. What about the Ferraris? Fastest middle sector for Leclerc. Not much in it between Leclerc and Sainz here. Going to be all about the last sector. 20.5. Ooh, what about Carlos Sainz? How good was his last sector? Amazing. Well, I say amazing. He hasn't set a fastest sector out of anyone there. All green sectors. And he went P1. Don't see that very often, guys. Albon splitting the Red Bulls. Only 2 tenths behind Verstappen. George Russell ahead of Albon. Only a tenth behind Verstappen there with a 20.7. Lewis, what can he do? 21.2. Ooh. Or was that his... Yeah, that was an actual lap from Lewis. Saying the tyres weren't updated. Ooh. Ooh. I think Nick De Vries didn't have as much multi-racing discipline, correct? No. The thing is with Nick De Vries, I think he went in there and I think he was on the back foot very quickly. The thing is with Nick is that the first 6 races of the season, he was racing at tracks that he'd never competed at before, which I don't care what people say. It doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. If you're racing tracks that you've never raced at before, there's always that... You're not going to be as quick as those who are more experienced at those tracks. You're always going to be slightly slower. He was also in a bad performing car. The AlphaTauri was not doing very well. And he then very quickly had the internal pressure of... like obviously Red Bull. Apparently Christian Horner didn't want him from the get-go. You can only imagine the rumours that he's hearing and the rumblings and that. The media don't help, of course, and I just think they was probably looking for an opportunity to get him out as quick as possible rather than the other way around. And he was probably racing knowing that. He was probably racing knowing that, you know what, I've got to keep one eye over my shoulder because everyone's just looking for that first mistake that I'm making rather than being given the support and the confidence that other drivers are given. And when you're it's not quite the same, but I've been in a working scenario in real life where you're working for someone who is looking for the mistakes and waiting to jump on those mistakes that you make, rather than being supportive and going, okay, well, let's look how we can look to improve that next time around or whatever, and be more supportive. It is horrible, let alone what it's like in a high pressured environment like F1. So, but yeah, anyway, Williams splitting the Red Bulls. Yeah, Perez not doing very, I mean, it's very close at the top there, guys. It is very close. Yeah, people are always quick to judge fast, especially in sport and F1. So Hamilton having trouble over a single lap this week. Long run pace looks better though. Yeah, I think he'll be hoping. I think definitely they'll be doing the same strategy again, where they give Hamilton a toe to Russell. I think it's the only way he's going to help get himself up to George. We will see. Ferrari showing up at Monza. Will it continue into the race, or will bad strategy and long pits strike again? Well, it's Ferrari. We all know what can happen. I'm not always like this, Smooth, but yes, I do hope so. I want a different winner. I think F1 needs a different winner. Even someone to just take a challenge to Max. That'd be nice. We haven't seen it for the last 9 races. He's just driven off into the distance. Do you know what? If Max wins, I actually don't care. I just want there to be a genuine will-to-will battle. It go down to kind of the last couple of laps. That's what I want. I don't feel like I've had that this season for the win, even whether it's been Perez who's won or whether it's Max who's won. That's what I want, and I think that's what F1 needs. Of course, if Max wins, the headlines will be Max has won again. But if you truly are a fan of F1 and you watch the races, we just want competition. That's what we want. We want something to sit there and go, do you know what? What a bloody good race that was. What a drive that was what a fight that was between Max and Leclerc, or Max and Sainz up front. Like, fair play to Red Bull and Max. Like, they outdrove the Ferraris. Like, that's what I want, rather than sitting back and going, oh, he just drove off into the distance 30 odd seconds. Like, losing all his time to George in Parabolica, is he? Not liking Parabolica then. What's he doing there then? He's obviously maybe struggling with some understeer. Maybe he's struggling with the dirty air. We will see. So Hamilton coming out behind Russell again. So hopefully he's able to get a bit of a toe there and make his way up the grid. This was like Vettel's dominance at Red Bull from 2010 to 2013. Yes. Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't, because Vettel still had to fight for those wins. And throughout those seasons, other teams did win. There was still good fights there, and there were still good battles between Red Bull and the other drivers and the other teams. We haven't experienced that this year, which, I'll say it once again, is a credit to Red Bull. It's a credit to Max, because they've created a dominant car, a dominant team that doesn't make mistakes, doesn't break down, and they've got a dominant driver. They've got the full package this season. The full package. And we're most likely going to see the most dominant season in F1 we ever have. But I at least want to fight for a win. That's what I want to see. Vettel had a lot of competition. He did have. Right, here we go, guys. It's the last run of Q3. Who is going to get pole position? So, Leclerc has set the fastest first sector. Can Max respond? Keep an eye on that sector 1 time there. Is he able to set purple and beat Leclerc's first sector? No, he is slower. How about Carlos Sainz? Can he improve? Can he beat his teammate into sector 1? No. So at the moment, Leclerc is quickest by a couple of hundredths there from his teammate and from Max Verstappen. of course, fastest in the second sector as well. So at the moment, it is going to be Leclerc on provisional pole. Keep an eye on Max. Close behind Leclerc. Is he going to get purple in the second sector? He has been strong through here. He's done a 27.049, but that is not enough of a difference to make up the gap from sector 1 to sector 2. Sainz improves in sector 2 here. This is going to be close between the front three. Leclerc crosses the line and goes fastest with a 20.3. Right, it's all about the last corner here. Parabolica, swooping right-hander. Full throttle on the exit. Here goes Verstappen across the line. Can he beat Leclerc to pole? He does by a couple of hundredths, but can Sainz do it? Fastest in the second sector. He does. Carlos Sainz is your pole sitter unless one of the Mercedes has strapped a rocket ship to their car just before the last run here. What a lap by Carlos Sainz. Out qualifying Verstappen in P2 there. Of course, Ferrari being investigated at the moment for their slow out laps earlier on. But let's see what the two Mercedes can do. Russell is currently in P6. He is setting green sectors, so he is going to go faster than his fastest lap. He jumps up to 4th. But what about Hamilton? He has struggled here today. Can he improve? Currently P9, only by 1 position up into P8. And there we go, guys. There we go. Carlos Sainz is your pole sitter at Monza. The Tifosi are screaming right now. Absolutely loving it. Verstappen in P2. Leclerc P3. Very close behind. Only a couple of attempts in it there. A couple of hundredths actually in it there. Good lap from George Russell, a 20.6. Only 3 attempts there behind the Ferraris. We've got Perez in P5. Albon up in P6, beating a McLaren, another McLaren, a Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, and a Aston Martin of Alonso. Well. There we go. Do you know what? Watching that lap time back, or watching the track map back, Hamilton was not close enough to George. I think there was a little bit of sneaky gameplay there from George Russell. He had to give Lewis a tow, but he wasn't specifically told how much of a tow he had to give him. George was just far enough ahead there to give off enough dirty air to affect Lewis. I wonder if a bit of gamesmanship there by George, obviously wanting to be obviously the fastest man in Mercedes. I think we might see a bit of an angry Hamilton tomorrow and try and get a response there to beat his teammate in the race. But wow, guys, Forza Ferrari. Let's have a look at the rundown for the grid tomorrow. So, in P1, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. We have a Ferrari on pole position. And it's not Leclerc. It's Carlos Sainz. He has looked sharp on it this weekend. Good to see him in pole position. Followed closely by, of course, Max Verstappen. Leclerc in 3rd. That's going to be tasty down into T1 tomorrow, isn't it? Leclerc just rams Max. Or George. And the Monza curse strikes again. Russell in P4, Perez P5, Albon in the Williams P6. Out qualifying, as we said, Piastri in P7. A good recovery from him, to be honest. Hamilton in P8, struggled today in qualifying. Norris P9, Alonso P10. Aston Martin seems to have dropped off this second half of the season. Those upgrades have not had much of an effect compared to the other teams. Tsunoda and Lawson in the AlphaTauris 11th and 12th. Hulkenberg in 13th. Bottas 14th. Sargent 15th. Zhou in 16th. The two Alpines, a shocker for them, out in Q1, 17th and 18th. Magnussen 19th. Stroll 20th. Alpines were very poor here last year as well, and they did do a very good undercut. They did a very big undercut last year. Keep an eye out for that. I reckon they'll pit in the first kind of 5 to 6 laps. Get out of that DRS train, which we know occurs here at Monza. Difficult to overtake when just people aren't able to get past with the DRS. And the only way to do that is in the pits. So, Oh, no further action for the Ferraris with their outlaps. Funny that. It's funny that, isn't it? Sainz gets on pole, and it looks like there might actually be a race tomorrow. And as soon as that happens, yeah, no further investigation. I'm not saying they deserved it or they didn't. They did or they didn't. But yeah, it's quite coincidental, isn't it? I like him, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan. Yeah, I mean, look, I always said, if Max wins tomorrow, fair play. I just want it to be a race. I want it to be challenging. I want them to have wheel-to-wheel battles. And I want there to be some element of, oh, we don't know who's going to win this tomorrow. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Max drive 30-odd seconds into the distance again. There's still potential for that because I think Red Bull, from reports, have better, longer pace, race pace than the Ferraris. But look, let's let Ferrari revel in their moment. It's nice to see someone other than a Red Bull on pole position, and it's nice to see a Ferrari, no matter what you may think of Ferrari, on pole position at their home Grand Prix. So yeah, we'll see, DK. We'll see. Of course, they have to get past the. They have to make sure they nail their pit stops. They have to make sure that they look after their tyres. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Red Bull running more downforce with similar straight speed. They're disappearing tomorrow. Yeah, most probably. Most probably, Connor. Unless Verstappen gets a knock. I mean, George Russell likes to have a T1 crash or a T1 knock, doesn't he? He's got previous, so maybe George gets a good start tomorrow. Launches past Max. Never know. Gives him a cheeky little nudge on the back. Gets some rear wing damage or something. I don't know. Maybe George has watched a few of the tour races this weekend already, and in iRacing and channels some of those moments. Ferrari on pole here last year, weren't they? Were they? I can't remember. Make sure the tyres are there for the pit stop. That's a good point, Om. That is a very good point. By the way, Ferrari need to keep their livery and their kit and helmets for the rest of the season. That yellow and red race suit looks absolutely lovely. And the livery. Honestly, absolutely love it. But yeah, there we go, guys. Oh, it was a Leclerc pole last year, was it? Okay, Leclerc pole. Well, there we go, guys. Look, we're on 46 likes for the stream. If you can hit the like button on your way out, it'd be much appreciated. We also, if you have new to the stream, please hit the subscribe button. I'll be back here tomorrow for the race, half an hour before it goes live. Just want to say thank you to Ryan for subscribing there. And anyone else who has subscribed and it hasn't shown up as an alert, it's how YouTube works, unfortunately. If you haven't got your subscribers to public, it won't show up as an alert. So yeah, big thank you to anyone who has hit the like button. But yeah, if you would like to hit that on your way out, turn those notifications on, that bell, because yes, we'll be going live tomorrow. I'll be going live this evening actually for my own F1 race on iRacing. And yeah, of course, we've at least got hopefully an interesting race, or an interesting turn one, shall we say, at Monza for tomorrow. Sainz on pole position, separated from his teammate by the Red Bull of Max. So yeah, and we all know how bolshy George can be at turn one at the start of races. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your afternoon, guys. Yeah, I'll be live later on doing my own race at Monza online for iRacing, their special event series that they run. So if you want to come and tune in for that, and yeah, we'll try and see what we can do. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your afternoon, day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll catch you either later on or for tomorrow for the race watch along. Cheers, guys. See you then. Bye.